From some angles, it might seem like these insects don't have too much going on between their ears, but ants are actually capable of some pretty complex behaviors, including farming, herding, ranching, warring with other colonies, and even sacrificing themselves for the greater good. And all these behaviors are exhibited by different species, so there's a lot of variety among ants. There are over 12,000 known species alive today, and they vary a lot in size and shape. They can live almost anywhere, and their colonies can number in the thousands or millions. One of the most fascinating aspects of ants is how they defend their colonies. While some species simply bite and sting, others use chemical warfare or even explosive autocannibalism. That's right, some ants can blow themselves up to protect their colony mates. And yes, this does happen. In today's episode, we are looking at an ant that can literally explode itself to death. The ants that can blow themselves up belong to a group of over 40 closely related species in the genus Colobopsis. Colo means club and Opisthophis refers to the narrow waist. These medium-sized ants are found in southern Asia and Australia. They are known for having huge heads and powerful jaws which they use to fight and defend their colony. There are around 40 described species in this genus, but it is estimated that there could be more than 50. Of the 40 that have been described so far, only 4 are capable of auto-explosion. Among them is Colobopsis saundersi, whose range extends from India through Southeast Asia into northern Australia. Saundersi are medium-sized ants reaching lengths of around 6 millimeters. Like all ants, they are eusocial insects, which means they live in colonies with an intricate division of labor among the members. Their colonies are made up of different types of female workers, which are sterile, and 1 or more fertile queens. Saundersi are aggressive and territorial. If intruders enter their space, they will attack. However, if they feel extremely dangerous, the ants will retreat into the chamber and prepare to defend the nest. When the enemy is close enough, the ant takes a deep breath, then contracts its abdominal muscles extremely strongly. This sudden contraction breaks the thin membrane at the back of its head and body, releasing a sticky, corrosive poison from 2 large mandibular glands. Located at the base of the front legs, this layer of poison covers the enemy, immobilizing or killing them. After this, the ants in the colony attack the stunned intruder and tear it apart. The exploding ants are all females, but males play a role in the process as well. A study published in 2021 suggests that they may initiate the process. According to researcher Simon Quellenberg, who led the study, the male may bite or sting an intruding insect, alerting the other colony members to attack. It's also possible that the male releases a pheromone that triggers the reaction in the other ants. The ants need to be extremely close to each other to perform the maneuver. That's because the poison released during the auto-explosion only has a very short range. It's just 2 to 3 centimeters long, which is roughly the length of one of their legs. This means that the ants have to be physically close enough to cover the enemy with their explosive secretions, but not too close, because otherwise they would end up harming themselves. Even though they are warned about the danger, sometimes the ants simply cannot escape in time and end up getting covered in their own poison. It's not entirely clear what triggers the auto-explosion response. It could be the presence of the enemy near the egg or larvae chambers, perhaps sensing danger through vibrations, chemicals, or even sounds produced by the enemy. The researchers suggest that the act of self-sacrifice may be an instinct hardwired into their genes. But why would any creature willingly sacrifice itself? Altruism isn't all that common in the natural world, because natural selection primarily favors the genes that ensure individual survival. Animals that behave altruistically are putting themselves at a disadvantage by reducing their chances of passing on their genes. From an evolutionary standpoint, it makes sense that animals might help their close relatives because they share many of the same genes. This is called kin selection, and it helps to explain the existence of eusocial insects like ants. These insects live in colonies made up of sisters and daughters, all of whom share a large proportion of their genes. In fact, it turns out that the more closely related two ants are, the more likely they are to engage in auto-explosions. Although the behavior has only been observed in the laboratory, Scientists believe that the same thing happens in the wild. Auto-explosion is a great example of altruism in the animal world, because the ants are risking their lives to protect not only their close relatives, but also unrelated members of their colony. This is especially important when the colony is under attack by large enemies such as anteaters, birds, or even humans. Exploding ants release special chemicals into the air that alert other members of the colony to the threat. This allows the colony to respond quickly, which increases their chances of survival. The ants effectively sacrifice themselves to save their colony mates. The idea that an insect can explode is creepy enough on its own, but it gets even worse when you consider what happens to the eggs and larvae that are left behind after the auto-explosion. Since the ants cover their entire bodies in poison, they inadvertently coat the eggs and larvae in it as well. At first, this seems counterintuitive because the larvae are members of the same colony and therefore need to be protected. But the poison ends up doing more harm than good. It creates a protective barrier around the young ants, preventing any predators that have survived the explosion from eating them. According to researcher Simon Quellenberg, it may also have the opposite effect, attracting other predators. Nevertheless, the larvae remain safe inside the nest until they develop into adult ants. The study published in 2021 revealed another disturbing detail about the ants' explosive defense. One of the main reasons why the ants choose to sacrifice themselves instead of running away is that they cannot turn back once they start the process. The study showed that the ants lose control of their limbs when they contract their abdominal muscles to break their exoskeleton. This means that they are unable to escape even if they want to. And if you thought that was bad, it gets worse. The ants do not die immediately. The researchers noticed that after the explosion, the ants remained conscious for several seconds. This means that they are aware that they are being torn apart by their colony mates, but they are unable to do anything about it. As for the poison released by the ants, it's still not entirely clear what it's made of. The only thing we know for sure is that it contains chemicals called carboxylic acids and nitrogen-based compounds. Scientists believe that this substance could be used as a natural pesticide in the future. However, further research is needed to fully understand its properties and effects. The ants' explosive defense is not the only example of auto-cannibalism in the animal world. Other insects, such as the stink bug, can also blow themselves up, but they do it in a different way. Instead of breaking their exoskeleton, they basically rip themselves open and release a foul-smelling liquid. This liquid is their last line of defense, and it's highly effective against most predators. As for the ants, their explosive defense is a unique strategy that helps to protect their resources and the survival of the entire colony. It's particularly useful when facing large enemies that would otherwise easily destroy the colony. By sacrificing themselves, the ants ensure that their colony will survive and continue thriving. Perhaps one day we will discover new species of ants that are able to explode their bodies to protect their colony. If so, we will definitely make a video about it. So stay tuned and don't miss out on future episodes. Also remember to subscribe if you haven't already. We've done our best to ensure the accuracy of the information provided. However, if you have any suggestions or corrections, please leave them in the comments below. We're always looking for ways to improve and appreciate any feedback we receive. Thanks for watching.